Welcome to Week 4's Trending or Ending. It's a waiver wire segment. Let's get into it. We're talking about players that are trending up, players that are trending down, and what to do with each one of those players. So with running backs, let's kick it off. Trey Benson, he is my number one running back waiver wire ad of this week. Rostered in about half of leagues. James Conner went down. Obviously, Benson is now next man up. So yeah, he's obviously number one priority for me here in Week 4. Chris Rodriguez started off the game strong. 11 carries. He held a scratch these other two games. 11 carries, started it off. Looked strong, but it's still a mystery with that backfield. You got Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt, who found the end zone, who did okay. And then if you had already seen Mr. Jeremy McNichols run for a 60-yard touchdown, he's also an option there. But I'm not holding on to him. It's very, very messy until somebody clears it up. It's really difficult to be part of the Washington backfield. Kenneth Gainwell, you can send him off. Miles Sanders as well. Ollie Gordon. Ollie Gordon is a guy who I'm really interested in. 9 carries here. If you see, Devon Achane had only 12 carries in Week 3 versus the Buffalo Bills. Each and every single week, we've gotten more carries. Well, I guess in Week 1 he had 2 to 1, but nevertheless, 9 carries here versus the Bills. That's what I like to see. Found the end zone. It's a possibility that Ollie Gordon's a little bit on the rise. Still the Achane show, but a high-value handcuff, if nothing else. Ollie Gordon should be at the back of benches. So just in case the situation that happened in Arizona happens to the Miami backfield, you'll already be taken care of. Hassan Haskins, yeah, he should not be on anybody's roster. Blake Corum, he's getting more snaps. Obviously, he's got more carries here in this game. He had some juice against Philadelphia, but I do look at it as a high-end handcuff, but it's just so messy. Gordon is one who I could see get closer to like the early down work, maybe, 1s and 2s, and obviously Achane getting all the passing work. Corum doesn't necessarily profile exactly like that. Profiles closer to Kyron Williams. So, yeah, Blake Corum, I don't think you need to pick him up just yet. Kareem Hunt, if you want half of the carries there in the backfield for the Kansas City Chiefs, he is an option. They're splitting the carries basically 50-50 between Pacheco and Hunt. So, yeah, he's an option for you if you are interested. He's getting the goal line carries and found the end zone just last week. It's Baltimore right here, who we just saw the Lions have 4 rushing touchdowns against. So, yeah, I mean, you can add him. You could do worse. He's probably number 3 on my list behind Ollie Gordon and Trey Benson. Justice Hill, no, you don't need to add him. Quinshon Judkins, he's added in most rosters. If not, he would be the absolute number 1 priority over Trey Benson. But yeah, just he's not out there. In any competitive leagues, any leagues I'm in, he's not there. Same with Bashal Tootin. He's highly rostered. Rostered, it says 60% here, but found the end zone yet again. Yeah, this one, another high-end handcuff, but he has a little bit of flex appeal, if you will. So yeah, Tootin is somebody I'm perfectly fine throwing a waiver claim in, but again, highly rostered. We talked about Jeremy McNichols. Cam Scadaboo, highly rostered already, but he would be another no-brainer add. And then Rico Dowdle. I'm not excited for this one here. I mean, he did get 10 carries, found the end zone, but no, it's still Chuba's show. And so yeah, I'm not really fancying any of that. Turning down, we'll kind of blitz through these fellas. Running backs, Najee Harris, obviously you're sending him off. Achilles injury, so he's out for the season. That's unfortunate for him. Dylan Sampson, it's the Judkins show now. This was my worry with Sampson. Somebody asked, should I pick him up? It was like 2 weeks ago or so. I said, Judkins coming back. I know he's getting receptions, but yeah, this was his usage when Judkins came back. So I am not excited for Sampson. You can go ahead and send him off. Rondre Stevenson, you saw him in the thumbnail. I have him trending downward. You're not dropping him. He's still the starter for now, so you're holding on to him, but my running back rankings come out tomorrow. You should check those out, and you'll see where he's ranked. It's not going to be very high. James Conner, another season-ending injury. You can send him off. Isaiah Pacheco, if you're rostering Kareem Hunt, Isaiah Pacheco should also be rostered. It's such a split backfield for those guys. You're not starting him, but they're starting running backs, so they need to be rostered. And then Tank Bigsby, you can send him off. Kyle Monunga, you can send off. But in deeper leagues, I do like him. I mean, he's getting a little bit of run. It's It's nothing fancy, but that's really only if a swift injury happens. Would you be starting Manungai under any situation? Jaden Blue, no, not interested. Tyler Algier, no. Again, these are handcuff fellas at best. Brian Robinson, I'm still holding on to him. Christian McCaffrey is, and the 49ers just in general, they're using him so much that it doesn't seem inevitable that he's going to get injured, but man, it is not a pretty look for how much they're using Christian McCaffrey. In case you missed it, dude had 15 targets, 10 receptions, 88, and another 17 carries on the ground. They are beating this man up. So, yeah, Brian Robinson should be rostered in every single league, even if you're not the Christian McCaffrey owner. Tyrone Tracy, man, this is not what you wanted to see. And he expected to miss some time, too, with the dislocated right shoulder. Obviously, it's wheels up for Cam Scattaboo, but Tyrone Tracy, I don't know if he's droppable. We need to see how long he's going to miss. There's no, I mean, I'm recording this on Monday night, so I'm personally not dropping him, but if you need to make space for, obviously a Trey Benson, the rest of these guys, for the most part, are just split backfields. Chris Rodriguez, Ollie Gordon. I'm probably still holding on to Tracy in that case, even though Cam Scattaboo's been pretty good. I can't really see a way that I'm going to move away from him. But if you need to start, you need to start. RJ Harvey, I'm also not dropping, but it's really concerning seeing that he only had 2 carries here in this game. And then J.K. Dobbins, obviously, still just getting better each and every single week. Yeah, and then he gets Cincinnati. Like, that's another one where it's a high-end handcuff, but it's not somebody you're interested in rostering. Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt, yeah, you're rostering him in each and every single league. Let's go over to wide receivers just real quick. We'll run through them, and then I will get you my rankings pulled up. And if you haven't already, make sure you do subscribe to the channel. You can see everything down below. I'm dropping rankings videos each and every single week and going live every single Sunday, 1 hour before kickoff. Trey Tucker will be the number 1 wide receiver added this week. In case you missed it, he had 3 touchdowns in week 3. Geno Smith did not look great, but Trey Tucker, he got a lot of run. I mean, it's not prescriptive. He's not going to have another 3-touchdown game. He might not even have another 100-yard game. But when you do this, you need to add that player. That's, it could be potential for a breakout. We see year 3 breakouts all the time. I mean, it would be a long shot to say that Trey Tucker was on anybody's radar for a year 3 breakout. But yeah, 3 touchdowns, you're adding him in most redraft leagues. Tyquan Thornton, he's my number 2 wide receiver here on this week's waiver wire episode. Another just downfield stretcher. You've seen the same thing, a very similar stat line from his teammate Hollywood Brown just a few weeks ago, where just getting peppered with targets, a lot of them were deep shots too. So if you need a home run guy, I mean, he could be something for the Kansas City Chiefs, but this is all while Xavier Worthy is out of the game. So how much longer he's going to be out, I'm not sure. And then you have Rice coming back to muddy up the waters eventually. And Travis Kelce not even being used in any part of the game. So yeah, Tyquan Thornton's probably number 2 for me here this week. You could also go with this guy if you have some interest, Mr. Luther Burden, but we'll get to him in just a moment. Sterling Shepard is still on the list. Mike Evans, it's still early in the week. You've got to monitor it. But if he's going to miss any expected amount of time, then Sterling Shepard would be the guy I would expect to step up. Obviously, Godwin is questionable to come back. It's against Philadelphia, so how much they're going to actually use him to is always part of their game plan. But Sterling Shepard, maybe in deeper leagues, I'd be interested in throwing him on the end of my bench, depending on how long Mike Evans is going to be out. And then Torrey Horton, this one right here, the rookie coming out, back-to-back touchdowns in both weeks. It's encouraging. You've seen his snap share stay at about 50%, but what's a little bit more interesting is Cooper Kupp's snap share has gone down each and every single week. So Horton should be on the end of rosters, or at least on the end of your mind, so that you're thinking of what could he do? What could he do in this offense here? JSN is getting used a lot. He's obviously the number 1, but they do need a number 2 to step up. And then Luther Burden, they finally let Luther loose. I was throwing around the hashtag, let Luther loose on X, because they didn't use him for 2 games. They lost both those games. They finally use him in week 3, and they win. So go figure. 100-yard game, big 60-yard or 70-yard trick play. to get him into the end zone. It was awesome, but he has a lot of speed. He could arguably be at the top of your radar if you wanted him over Trey Tucker. I would be perfectly fine with that. Just know that there's obviously still a lot of mouths to feed here. You got DJ Moore, Rome Odunze, even Zacchaeus is playing ahead of him very often. So yeah, until he beats out Zacchaeus and shows that he can have a little bit of trust in the offense, he's still going to be playing behind those fellas. Quentin Johnston, he's rostered everywhere. You obviously would have him picked up. Parker Washington, 11 targets is encouraging. That's awesome. But he hasn't been anything so far in his career. You still got Brian Thomas. You still got Travis Hunter. Brenton Strange is somebody who I like. So Parker Washington, I'm not interested in him. So I would say that's a little bit of a facade despite the 11 targets. Elek Iomanor, he's only rostered in about half of leagues, but really excited for him. A touchdown in both of those. So that's what's awesome. Houston here, I would expect Calvin Ridley to get Derek Stingley. So maybe it opens up just a little bit for Iomanor, but encouraging to see that he's still being used in the offense here. But yeah, we need some more out of the whole entire Titans offense for that matter. Kevontae Turpin, this one here, I like Jalen Tolbert more because if CeeDee Lamb is going to miss an extended period of time, they've already said, yeah, it's going to be multiple weeks most likely. I'm expecting him to land on IR, and if he does, it wouldn't be Turpin that would benefit the most. It would be Jalen Tolbert. He actually plays outside. I mean, obviously, you're going to have Ferguson, who's going to have a uptick in his workload, as well as George Pickens. But as far as waiver wire goes, Jalen Tolbert would be the guy that would step up and play also on the outside. So, yeah, that would be my ad as far as Dallas wide receivers go if I lost Lamb, or if you're looking for maybe the third passing option in the Dallas Cowboys offense. Leo Shakir, yeah, he's rostered everywhere he should be. Calvin Austin found the end zone yet again. I'm not chasing Austin's points, but if you want to, by all means. Ricky Pearsall's rostered everywhere. Same thing for Pittman. Obviously, both those guys should be rostered everywhere. If Godwin, for whatever reason, is on your waivers, yeah, add him to the top of your list. He could play as early as week 4. So, yeah, Godwin should definitely be there, especially with Mike Evans being out. You won't be able to trade for him, and you won't be able to get him on most of your waivers. So there's that. Darnell Mooney, 11 targets is encouraging. This was a really weird game. This was a game where not only did I think that the Falcons were going to win on the road, Vegas thought that, and then they come out and it was 30-0, and the Falcons lost. Like that was insane from them. Even Michael Penix got benched. You had Kirk Cousins coming in for just a little bit. Yeah, it was a very weird game. Darnell Mooney, you could add him, but he's just still not. People don't want to start Drake London right now. So do you want to go to the second or third option in the offense? I'm trying to shy away from it. I like Mooney. He's a very talented player, but not trying to throw him in any of my rosters or any of my lineups. Romeo Doubs, he goes the same as any other Green Bay wide receiver. He has a chance to catch a touchdown in any given week, but we didn't really see much. I mean, this was a little bit of the Cleveland defense. They are elite. They are shutting people down. It gets Dallas. That's awesome, but they don't throw it enough, and they spread the ball a lot. So it's such a gamble with the Packers wide receivers right now. Marvin Mims, yeah, you can send him off. Jerry Jeudy, no, you're not sending him off anywhere. Do not drop Jerry Jeudy. Troy Franklin, I think you still hold on to him. You got to see another week here. Chargers defense is legit, but man, he fooled a lot of us if you threw him into your lineups for whatever reason. If you saw my rankings episode, I had him all the way down in F tier. Not necessarily he's a bad player, just you want to kind of wait and see if the breakout is real. Still getting a lot of snaps, but yeah, I wouldn't drop Franklin just yet. I would actually hold Franklin over basically any of these other guys that we were talking about, the Tuckers, Thorntons, the Burdens. Still hold Franklin over any of those. And then Keon Coleman, yeah, you're still holding on to him. He's going to have a bad week 4 too, if I had to guess. I mean, it's against New Orleans. These are just teams that they don't need to throw the ball against. He's out there, he's running routes, but they don't need him. When they do need him, it looks a lot like week 1. So, yeah, it might be a little while before you even see it, maybe even week 9 before you see something there. So if somebody's really interested, I might be interested in trading him, but I'm not dropping him. That's for sure. Jaden Higgins, he is droppable, unfortunately. Yeah. This offense, the Texans' offense is the worst in the league. I think they have 38 total points scored. I know they're last in scoring, but 38 points in 3 games, that's abysmal. The average is like 65, 70 right now through 3 games. So, yeah, they're at about half of that. Travis Hunter, you're not dropping him, but you can't play him. Adam Thielen, no, you don't need to roster him. I've got this one a couple of times. Calvin Ridley, do I need to drop him? What do I need to do? You could drop him if somebody's interested in trading. You can, but what you're dropping him for is other question marks who you're hoping don't do what Troy Franklin just did, where they showed they did something and then there's nothing. So I'm probably holding on to Ridley over all of them. If nothing else, you could trade him because I think he would be a priority ad for a lot of people who haven't had him. So yeah, Calvin Ridley, I am not dropping. Josh Downs, you could drop if you're desperate, if you need it. If you are interested in some of those other guys up here, I get that. Isaac Tesla, I wouldn't be rostering him. Jaden Reed, hopefully you got an IR spot. If not, yeah, your bench space is too valuable at this point of the season. People are going down left and right. You need players that are going to play. Jaden Reed is not going to be on a lot of rosters. Then Juwan Jennings, you're not dropping him. Consider day-to-day, like, you can't drop a player who came out and had a decent game like that. You just got to kind of wait. And they're getting Brock Purdy back earlier than expected, too. Talked about Darnell Mooney already. Oh, that's hilarious. He's on the trending up and the trending down side. So, yeah, very mixed reviews on him. Cooper Kupp, I'm not dropping, although I am intrigued by Torrey Horton. But, yeah, Cooper Kupp, I can't drop just yet. Hunter Renfrow probably should have never been rostered in the first place. If you watch my other waiver wire episode, you will notice that he was not mentioned despite having 2 touchdowns. Just didn't really look too pleasing there. And then Jalen Naylor, I'm not rostering him in many leagues. But let me go ahead and pull up this over here. I've got just a little notepad. I know it's not the prettiest, but you see exactly how I've got my rankings. I've got a couple of players that weren't actually mentioned in there, but Woody Marks, let's talk about him for just a moment. Woody Marks is getting more and more run each and every single week. So the Texans are trusting him just a little bit more. Nick Chubb, I mean, you haven't seen a ton out of him so far in the season. That's the Texans as a whole, but you haven't seen too much out of them. And then Woody Marks just getting more run is nice. He's an excellent pass catcher, so there's obviously always that element in a PPR league. And then Tajay Spears should be coming back any time now. He's been on the IR, but Tony Pollard, first 2 weeks, didn't get any receptions. Finally got some receptions here coming into week 3, but it's nothing. That's what Spears is good at. That's kind of how they would like to use him. So yeah, Tajay Spears is a guy who I think you can add at the end of your bench if you need running back help. Maybe you lost one of these running backs that went down here. That's where I would be. And then let me just give you a few names here for quarterback streamers. I've got quarterback streamers of Jordan Love. These are all guys that are rostered in 50% or less leagues. Obviously, this is one quarterback league, so Superflex, you'll have to look elsewhere, and you know where to look. But Jordan Love versus the Cowboys, they're giving up the most points against quarterbacks. They had Russ's 450-yard game. Caleb just threw 4 touchdowns against them, so Jordan Love should have a good bounce-back game in Week 4. And then Justin Fields, if he plays, this is a Monday Night Football game, so it's a little risky. I will say that. Oh, let me move my... Yeah, I will say that. It's a little risky. He does play on Monday Night Football, so you need to get the clear on about Thursday, Friday, Saturday, somewhere before Sunday to figure out what you're going to do. But he plays the Dolphins. Dolphins giving up the second most points to quarterback so far. And then Geno Smith, this is a real ugly one, but the Bears are just as bad as the Cowboys as far as points to the quarterback. So, yeah, I would be fine with playing Geno Smith, who didn't look good, but somehow threw 3 touchdowns in Week 3. So, yeah, tight end streams, Hunter Henry, he should have been mentioned really inside of this list here. But yeah, Hunter Henry was a guy who came out 11 targets, 8 for 90 and 2. That's awesome. You try to chase that up as much as you can with tight ends. If they're getting that many targets, like that does not grow on trees. You could potentially have a Juwan Johnson type situation coming up where just a random tight end pops up out of the void, and now you can start them like that. So And then Britton Strange, he's another tight end stream who I'd be interested in. He's getting a decent amount of targets as well. And then Cade Otton, that one's a little bit more of if Mike Evans misses time. We've seen him, if Godwin or Evans misses time, get a little bit of an uptick of a workload. So I would be perfectly fine with that. And then defenses, these are the ones that I'd be streaming. They're low rostered percentage. Lions versus the Browns. The Browns have scored the third fewest points, plus they're a great defense, so it should be a very low scoring game. You got the Commanders versus the Falcons. The Falcons have been they put up 0 points just last week against Carolina. So, and the Commanders have looked good. So, yeah, that would probably be my number one as far as streaming defenses go. And then Chargers versus the Giants. Giants, they kind of showed what they actually were against the Chiefs, and I would argue that the Chargers defense is probably better, so you could go in that direction as well. But this is going to be it for the trending or ending waiver wire episode. If you haven't already, make sure you do subscribe to the channel. I go live every single Sunday to help you out with your start-sit decisions, as well as I drop multiple rankings and tier list videos all throughout the week to help you win your fantasy league. I'll see you tomorrow with the running back episode. Catch you then.